Hey guys, today's video is going to be about the 5th hero class that's going to come out for Ragnarok Online, which is Hela. To keep up with tradition, I prepared a short video for you guys to inform you about the 7 not so obvious things about Hela before you pick the class, or maybe not. As usual, these are all based on my interpretation of the in-game codes and some actual testing within the game, so please take this with a grain of salt. Also, big thanks to Team Leaks for extracting and interpreting all of the game data for us so far. So thanks everyone. Okay, number 1. Hellhound's Roar stats and attack and magic attack percent reduction, the one he gets from the rune, stacks up to 10 layers. Now I don't know if this was obvious enough, but even the attack percentage and magic attack percentage reduction stacks up to 10 layers. So pretty much it's 100% attack percent and magic attack percent reduction if someone decides to just stay inside the AoE. Number 2, still with Hellhound Roar. So the Resu-disable works on dead units. Now this is a really good thing they've added in this skill, because I think they forgot this in Soulbinder's Withered Curse. You see, the difference is the Resu block from Soulbinder's Withered Curse requires that the player is alive when you cast the skill. And so dead players won't be able to get the debuff. And so, when the players are already dead and you cast Withered Curse, they can still be rested in place. Hellhound Roar has a line in the code that basically says dead can add equals to 1. And what this means is even if the enemy is dead, you can still add this debuff. And so you can't just place this on dead enemies and their support will not be able to rescue them. Number 3, and I don't know if this is really useful, but I thought it was interesting. So there's a 0.5 seconds delay before Hela gets poisoned when using Death Medicine under Deathblood Pulse. So if you've read the skill description already, when you use Death Medicine under Deathblood Pulse, it actually poisons Hela. But because of the reaction of her skills, that poison actually becomes beneficial. Rather than draining her HP, she actually regenerates HP whenever she has it. However, the only negative effect that actually sticks is the negative death percent from poison. Okay, number 4. Devil's Turntable, which is the Google Translate version of the translation for this. The effect condition is that the attack from you or to you needs to deal damage. Okay, so it's both your attack and the attack you receive, right? Has to deal damage so that you can copy statuses over to your enemy. So the statuses can be copied over to your enemy. So it's state effect 1 to 12, which is poison, bleed, burn, stun, freeze, petrify, sleep, fear, snare, silence, curse, and blind. Number 5, depressed status. Yes, that's the actual translation. From bottled spirit can be dispelled by skills like remove buff. If you've been following my videos, I did explain that certain debuffs or certain buffs can be dispersed if it has this particular tagging in the code, which is disperse equals to 1, which basically means if this tag can be found, skills like remove buff should be able to remove them. And so yeah, the depressed status from bottled spirit can be dispelled by remove buff. Number 6, Lash, and I'm not sure about this translation, but it's the passive skill that looks like this. So Lash passive works on all of Hela's damage skills. One of the things I think they're trying to do now with the hero classes is that all of their damage skills would just use one damage formula, and then there will just be conditional lines to separate or to amplify effect from different skills. Now this variable you see here, which is luck ratio, this one actually refers to the effect of this passive, and as you can see, it's outside of these conditions that's based on the skill ID. Therefore, whatever skill uses this damage formula, which is 64501, would benefit from it. And so that includes bottled spirit, that's fatal dream, even the Hellhound's normal attack and the amplified roar would actually gain from this luck ratio. Another thing to note is you don't really have to zero out all of the stats. The only, at least one of them has to be zero. So if you look at this line of code here, math.min, right? So if at least any one of those is equals to 0, then this particular enhancement will take effect. So no need to zero out all of these stats. Okay, last but not the least, Fatal Dream Effect. Now, I just really thought this needed some clearing up because I don't think it was very clear in the actual text, and even more fuzzy when you try to Google translate it. So as you know, when you enter Black Collar Party Buff or Midnight Party Buff, all of Hela's skills will actually gain a certain level of enhancement. Now normally, Fatal Dream Effect would deal AoE poison element damage. And if the enemy's HP is equal to or below 25%, it instantly kills the enemy, pretty much like Soul Depravity. However, under Black Collar Party Buff, if the enemy's HP is greater than 25%, the enemy also suffers an additional 25% of max HP loss. So what this basically means is it's one or the other, right? It's either you die right away or you lose 1/4 of your HP if the criteria doesn't match. Now, of course, the 25% is the optimal value. Just like what the skill actually says, it picks the debuff layer or the buff layer of your enemy, and the maximum number is 5. And so 0.1 plus 0.03 multiplied by 5, that's 0.25, which easily makes it 25%. Now, I think this is a really good enhancement to the skill because this opens up opportunities for your support, utility, or tank Hela build to actually deal decent damage to a group of enemies. Now, because this HP loss is regardless of, how much Ignore MDef you have, how much damage you have, how much Magic Pen you have, and how tanky the enemy is. It's a fixed 25% HP loss. So yeah, I think this is one of the skills that definitely people should look at when they try out Hela. Okay, that's it. So these are the 7 not so obvious things about Hela that I thought you should know. If you are interested in learning more about the game mechanics of Ragnarok Online, feel free to browse around my channel. I have a dozen of videos that explains the game mechanics and how the damage calculation works. So if you haven't already done so, just look around, and if you feel like doing it, just do subscribe and watch my other videos. Thanks again, and I see you guys on my next vid.